off a two-lane road in a part of Jacksonville that is only recently being deforested and gentrified, off of Yellow Bluff Road, is Eubank's Memorial Cemetery, a place that you would only find if you had it in your GPS or if you had checked other resources and knew to look for the gate in the middle of the forest. In my case, assisted by the holiday wreath. You have to park outside and walk down this lovely path into what surprisingly is a fairly well-maintained family cemetery of pioneers. Eubank's Memorial Cemetery was originally on land owned by the Bowles and Dees family. It holds 229 resters. It sits at 3264 Yellow Bluff Road in the northern part of Jacksonville, above the airport. Started in the 1800s, the oldest rester is Elizabeth Eubanks, who was buried in 1855. We know that Elizabeth was originally a Broward. Interesting. Another very important Florida family, not only Jacksonville, as in Napoleon Bonaparte Broward, one of the actually founding families of Jacksonville, of the state. A county is named after him. Governor of Florida, Very important family, Broward. About 20 years ago, a black cemetery was found in the back portion of this cemetery that was then cut back and rescued by family members. To my understanding, the cemetery is, for the most part, maintained by descendants and family members. Williams, Davis, Eubanks, Broward, and Star Art are very important names in this area, landowners, founders. Most of this area north of the St. Johns River is from the original Spanish land grant. The first grand jury of the city of Jacksonville had a Eubanks, a Broward, a Matthews, a Tucker, a Braddock, and a Dell. All of these names will be familiar to you if you are a resident of Florida or if you have watched my videos. Albert Phillips was the first mail carrier between Jacksonville and Tallahassee. If you are familiar with northeastern Florida or Jacksonville, you are certainly familiar with Phillips Highway, which is the current name for U.S. State Road 1. Albert Phillips just happens to be buried in the cemetery of pioneers in Jacksonville that is right off of the road named after him, the Confederate Cemetery. Names of prominence in this cemetery are Gardiner, Bowles, Dees, Eubanks, Williams, Davis, Broward, Matthews, Tucker, Dell, Startart, Hurlburt, Higginbotham, Courtney, Wright, Davidson, Swearington, and Drury. Of interest, Broward, as mentioned, Napoleon Bonaparte Broward started as a riverboat mate and became a river pilot before he entered politics, business, governor of Florida, and such. A great deal of this area of Jacksonville was Broward family property. The main road that crosses Yellow Bluff Road, upon which the cemetery's address resides, is Startart Road. Courtney is the name of a city on Merritt Island that you might recognize from my video about all of the older cemeteries in Brevard County that I visited over the Christmas holiday. Merritt Island is the barrier island where NASA is. Swearington is significant and may strike you as familiar if you watched my video about Cora Crane, the famously infamous Grand Dame Madam of Jacksonville during the Roaring Times. Swearington became the mayor of Jacksonville immediately after Cora passed. Cora, by the way, was the wife of the author Stephen Crane, as well as being a brothel owner, not only a brothel owner, but the most prestigious brothels in Jacksonville were owned by Cora Crane. She followed Stephen to do his coverage of the war in Turkey. Swearington stepped in as mayor after Cora passed and is the person that is responsible for shutting down the brothel business in Jacksonville and then keeping stray boys out of the pool halls. He was replaced easily the next term by the man who had been the mayor during the 1901 fire, a man for whom a significant road is named. That would be Mr. Bowen, Bowen. Anyone who has taken I-95 through Jacksonville knows Bowen Road. Bowen replaced Swearington. The city and the business people all asked Bowen to come back, and he brought prostitution legally minded in the contained area of La Villa back to Jacksonville. Swearington went on after a prestigious and lucrative law career in the city of Jacksonville to run for lieutenant governor, which he was elected to. Unfortunately, he was also the lieutenant governor when the most significant lynchings in the state of Florida, and even a couple of towns being burned down, black towns, especially the Ocoee massacre, which I did a video about. He was a lieutenant governor during that time. He didn't lift a finger to prosecute any of the men involved in the lynching and murders. So, when he ran for governor, he failed, fortunately. Fortunately. So, Matthews, of course, anyone who is familiar with Jacksonville is very familiar with Matthews. There's a Matthews Bridge. These are all town names well known. And you will see almost all of these same names in my video about some of the pioneer cemeteries more in the city of Jacksonville, especially those in the Phillips Craig Swamp Cemetery, which is where Albert Phillips, the first mail carrier, is buried.